Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to start Chapter 5, and what is probably the most boring area of the entire game.
Oh, God. We're not going to be able to handle this on our own. We need a gimmick. We need a guest. I know. Let's introduce occasional Something Awful Forums poster Rith.
Hello. Alright. Hi, I'm Rith. I'm here to entirely fail to defend my love for this game so that everyone watching can feel a bit more justified in their hatred for it.
I have gone on record as describing Rith as entertainingly pro Final Fantasy XIII.
This was apparently why I was approached.
Because the concept of somebody being pro Final Fantasy XIII is itself entertaining.
Why don't you let me take point?
I'd like to argue.
Can you handle it?
But...
It's not a question of can or can't.
Oh.
Now you're learning.
Anyway, you'll notice that Lightning has her sword in gun mode, because this is apparently a thing.
Got it.
Yeah, it's actually a nifty little thing with her animations. If you notice, once she gets her 4th ATB bar, her combo is 3 sword attacks, then she does a backflip and shoots them with her gun.
Yeah, the combo animations get weird in this. There is a dumber one that we'll see a bit later.
I've got your back. You call
and it belongs to everyone's favorite character, too.
Oh god, yes. Well, we've had our party shuffled, so... Paradigm messing around time. The game, as ever, has done a terrible job at setting us up with good ones.
Well, I really only have to change the one. I just have to add in Symbiosis and Double Dose.
Your paradigms are inefficiently listed. You need to swap them. Come on, you need to move dual casting. Yep. Good. As ever, our live commentary style is working.
And, of course, here comes the Crystarium.
Sped up for your viewing non-displeasure.
Alright, we do have some new things to find in here. Most notably, in addition to its skills and stat boosts, we can also find other things, like a new accessory slot.
Yeah, you get more than one accessory. And we almost got some other things, but then we ran out of CB. And an interesting passive ability for Lightning.
Yes, Ravage is a very, very important, well, not super important, but it's a very good ability that basically turns, if the first blitz that she does now, if there's a Ravager on the field, gets power up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, the game just takes care of it for you. So you never notice how much of a thing it's been.
We also have since we now have 2 accessory slots, we can start having some fun with synthesized skills. As you can see, when we equip the black belt in addition to the silver bangle, we see the skill Physical Wall pop up. This is because all weapons and all skills are classified, or all accessories are classified into one of about 20 or so categories, and if you have a certain number of items from the same category, you get a skill related to it.
Hell yeah.
In this case, because both of those accessories, as well as Hope's weapon, are part of the high defense subset, I suppose, it enables us to get the Physical Wall skill, which straight up will block the first 10 points of physical damage that Hope takes now.
This is kind of nifty early on in the game, and is completely irrelevant towards the end, so have fun with that.
I'm gonna say it's not much right now, but it's just something to be aware of, because once we start getting more and better accessories, you can do some hilariously broken stuff.
Arshik, this place looks a bit complicated. How do you know which way to go?
Well, thankfully, Lightning was there to tell us that if we watch for the blue lights, it'll tell us where to go.
Oh god, thank god.
Yeah, I read the data log for this place because, it's so integral to the plot, and it said that the Gapra Whitewood was, maze-like, and you can just get lost in it. So it's a good thing that it actually isn't maze-like, or in fact possible to get lost in, and there's these blue lights that tell you where along the completely straight line you should be going.
So how do the blue lights know which way whoever's passing through the Whitewood wants to go?
Well, because there's only one way through the Whitewood, so
Chasing after
I guess they're just motion sensitive or something.
Get ambushed.
Yeah. It's really dumb.
Right behind you.
Yeah, I don't know why they added that. Is seriously the dumbest. In an area full of extremely dumb things, that is one of the dumbest.
Have you ever been here before? On duty, I mean.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
I
somebody
haven't.
had this
This area is
idea
covered by the
for a
Woodlands
nifty
Observation
artistic
Battalion.
thing,
You scared?
and then they forgot to actually,
Not really.
make it important
I'm
in
ready
any
to fight
way.
if I have to.
To keep you safe.
A knife.
Oh no!
I'll want it back.
That knife.
Lightning.
That fucking knife.
I'm glad I followed you. By myself, I would have had no chance.
You would not believe the sheer amount of plot that actually revolves around that fucking knife.
Ugh. I'm holding myself back from talking about the sheer
And
amount.
stay focused on moving forward.
Even the order of magnitude involved constitutes spoilers. We joke about the plot being dumb, but there are a couple of things that we would like to remain surprises.
Also, I really hope you like the color blue, because that's all you're going to get for this entire chapter. Everything is blue.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just call it the Bluewood. I mean, there's actually nothing here that's very white, really.
I mean, it's better than the brown and gray of the Vile Peaks,
Military
but
uses this place for bioweapons.
not a whole lot.
Lots of angry teeth and claws.
Yeah, besides we've already had blue and glowing everywhere because we had Lake Russia, and that was like everything was crystal, and that looked really cool. And it was actually novel. But this is just like some walkways and some trees.
I can't believe you expect me to come on here and be entertainingly pro Final Fantasy XIII in Chapter 5.
Okay, it may be a little bit of a malicious juxtaposition.
This is just cool.
Alright, well let's go ahead and talk about enemies a little bit here. These frag leeches are... they basically take care of themselves. They have almost no HP. They have that fire diving attack, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're one of the few enemies that you can just hit it until it dies, and that's all the strategy you need.
Vespid here, he is a little bit more of a gimmick. He uses his tail to hit people, and after I believe the third hit, he will use an attack called Flurry of Fire, which does exactly what it sounds like, and he will cast, I think it's 3 or 4 fire attacks like right in a row at somebody. If you are not at full HP, it will probably outright kill you.
Yeah, you don't want that. Especially since your party leader is the most fragile character in the game. You really don't want that. Like, seriously, I don't know why they put in this whole thing with Hope taking point. He is a bad character to have as a leader, and we just got a shiny new toy with Lightning and her 4th ATB thing, and now we forcibly have to not use her, and that's a goddamn behemoth.
That is, fortunately, this is an alpha behemoth from back in Chapter 3, so
We can't lose here.
he's kind of a joke.
Okay. I guess.
So don't worry, we'll be meeting his big brother next video.
I don't doubt it. Still, this is where I start missing Tri-Disaster. Sorry, you were saying?
Sorry, I mean, it's just something I've never understood about this game is I can understand why they sort of why you can't choose your party for the entire game. They're sort of making sure that you get to know the characters and get to use all of the characters. But I don't understand why you don't have the option to choose your party leader. That just seems bizarre to me.
I don't think anybody has ever come up with a good explanation for that.
Oh, there we go. He's launched. Commander, you are clear to elevate the Tango. God, I love launch.
Yeah, launch is amazing. You can single-handedly neuter just about anything that can be launched.
The big deal is that normally, obviously when you get somebody staggered, they start taking boatloads of damage and then you can murder them real fast, but they can still hit you back. Unless they have some specific thing in place that says they can't attack when they're staggered, like the pulse work thing. But when they're launched, they straight up cannot do
We
anything
need to hide.
other than sit there and take damage.
Yeah, there will be a much better example of how supremely broken that is next video, but for
They
now,
don't
just
seem like they're even
yeah,
looking
it's
for us.
broken as hell,
I mean,
and
let's see,
any
we're on the
any
loose.
commando worth their salt has it.
Psychon's
Yeah,
keeping it
it's
all under
also
wraps.
one of the few
They don't want their
aspects
failure publicized.
of the combat
Better to
system
lose us than lose their pride.
that manages
The other
to like
soldiers don't
maintain
know
its
about us.
awesomeness even when the novelty wears off.
Right.
Like, no matter
They
how
don't know
bored
anything
you
about
get
any fugitives.
with the combat in this game, you always get that, yes! Launch the bucker!
Over here.
Anyway, we miss Lightning being all cynical and aloof and cool. I think we're emotionally worse off for having missed that.
Well, she brought up the point that was basically saying that PSICOM is more worried about their pride than actually finding them, so they could just kind of do whatever for now.
Never lose sight of what's happening
Are you
around
telling me the government is evil and incompetent?
Nonsense. I would never spout such lies.
I can do this.
Anyway, if you are one of those people who is so inclined, this particular fight is a pretty good one to grind. These six, they say there's 6 of them, they all go down really easy because of between Fira and Blitz, and, I mean, you can respawn them by just going back up the elevator. I don't know why you would grind in Final Fantasy XIII, or at least at this point of Final Fantasy XIII, but I guess the option's there.
Yeah, it's as weird as any other aspect of progression in this damn game. Yeah, it's also a pretty good thing to show off for, like, one of the situations where it's effective to manually choose commands. Normally you can just hit auto battle and it will do the correct thing, because when you hit auto battle you target one enemy, and it will choose actions based on the enemy you targeted, and if that enemy is surrounded by other enemies, then auto battle will choose area effect spells. And normally it's pretty good about that.
Normally.
Keyword. So hey, we got a weird weapon.
Yeah, it's a new weapon for Hope. It gives a slight boost to his magic, but you say it's not part of the physical defense category, so we would lose part of our physical wall. So
Oh, we can't have that.
I deigned to keep the Ninurta.
Yeah, well, we are still early enough in the game that having a straight 10 subtracted from every attack is actually kind of meaningful.
Right, and I mean, it should also be noted that Hope is also using the Black Belt, which is in and of itself a 10% damage reduction from physical attacks.
Where the physical wall really comes in handy is when there are a couple of enemies that have these like machine gun style attacks that does a small amount of damage hundreds of times. And that really gets destroyed by physical wall. But for the most part, like 10 damage is nothing. Also, apparently the bulkheads here are fal'Cie.
Gotta show what I made.
Yeah, there's a lot of fal'Cie that seemingly have no real purpose. It's a wall fal'Cie. Great?
No, it's a door fal'Cie. This is important.
So, I mean, are the... I don't know, I always assume this is somewhere where people work, isn't it? So do the people who work here have to sort of cope with the possibility that they might be turned into the sea anytime they pass through a door?
Are you trying to apply internal logic to the game's lore again?
I'm very, very sorry.
I've warned you about this. You know what happened last time.
Do I?
I don't know, maybe you've repressed it, because it was pretty bad. Oh well. My psychologist tells me not to speak of it, so... Let's instead talk about the dangerous fight that we're in.
Yeah, this one can be pretty nasty if you don't knock out the his little buddies first. But if you do that, he is almost certainly going to have enough time to finish charging up his Annihilator mode, and then good things happen.
Fortunately, we've got Hope Synergist on hand to give us Protect. So...
Yep, oh, here it comes.
Yeah. Hey, did he just block fall damage?
He did, because that is a thing that happens in Final Fantasy XIII. There is fall damage. It's never much, but in this case it was less than 10.
Oh, you say in this case. I can exclusively reveal that from here to basically the end of the game, it will only ever be double digit, and the second digit will usually be 1. Like, when you launch enemies, or you get launched, you know, they launch, you deal damage to them in the air, and then they fall, and then they take fall damage. And the fall damage is always like 10 or 11 damage. And you launch them and you deal like hundreds of thousands of millions of damage. And then they fall, and they take like 11 damage. Why?
I've got to be stronger.
The only thing I can think of is it's sort of a pity damage if you don't have a certain skill that kind of combos with launch. But that... I don't know.
Maybe it's some sort of
I wonder how the others
bizarre
are doing.
concession to realism.
Saz and Vanille,
I don't know, just getting launched 100 feet in the air,
even if they
getting
run
slashed
away,
with a sword 6 times,
Get caught
600,000 damage, falling 100
Then
feet
they'll have
onto
to
the ground,
choose. Resist
10 damage.
or surrender.
Not a big concession to realism.
Surrender. Do you think he's still alive?
Oh great, Hope's talking about Snow again.
You mean Snow?
This will end well.
He's too stubborn to die. And that's his best quality. He's arrogant and chummy from the get-go. He thinks he's everybody's pal. Never liked him much.
I
He
couldn't
leads
tell.
around a bunch of kids. Gang
Oh,
called
they're
Nora.
bonding over how much Snow is a terrible
Where'd they
character.
get the name Nora?
I
It's a
actually love
stupid
Snow.
acronym. Their little
Oh,
code
go on, tell us about it.
stands for
I don't know, I can't
obligations,
dislike him.
rules,
He's just
or
so sort of
authority.
earnest and
Must be
well-meaning and loving. He's like a big dog.
Is it because
It's
he's voiced by
irresponsible.
Troy Baker?
To be fair, voiced by Troy Baker is a pretty strong point.
Yeah. Troy Baker has voiced some stand-up guys.
I think you could replace Snow with a golden retriever, and basically the only thing that would change would be Lightning would be slightly less popular when she punches him in the face.
Oh god.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, that will be it for this video. So we will see you guys next time.
I